Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it very much. Dr. Burrow, when you appeared before us earlier, you talked about the importance in terms of fossil fuels, coal-fired electric plants providing a substantial amount of energy throughout the world, and that's going to continue to be the case. And then you emphasize that carbon capture and storage, you called not just one of the most important technologies, but the most important technology that exists because of its ability to marry the benefits of good environmental stewardship and continued dependable energy production. So I guess my first question is, do you stand by that statement? Is CCUS indispensable in terms of making sure we have dependable, low-cost energy and meeting our objectives in terms of reduction of CO2 emissions?
Even more than before, Mr. Senator, it is getting more and more important, more and more critical, CCUS in power generation, industry, and elsewhere. The problem is not energy. The problem is emissions. Energy is good, emissions are bad.
Right, and so then isn't the demand for fossil fuels, coal-fired electric production going to continue, particularly in a lot of countries outside the United States? And so isn't cracking the code in terms of making CCUS commercially viable, which we can do here with our technology, isn't that vitally important, not just for us, but really for the world?
Very much so. I think it will be not only important for the new power plants to be built, but also with the existing power plants. Today, 1/3 of all the emissions in the world come from the coal-fired power plants around the world. And if the United States was a leader of the carbon capture and utilization and storage technologies, and it can well be a very important product for exported that technology around the world. And this is what I would expect from the United States.
So we've worked on things then so we're trying to make that happen. Thank you for your comments. And I agree with you. And we're working hard to make that happen. We've worked hard to get 45Q in place. So my question is, what kind of enhancements, and we're working on funding from the Department of Energy, loan guarantees. What else can we do, should we do to make this happen? How do we help, make this happen in the United States, lead the way forward, deploy it commercially, advance the technology, and really lead the world here? What kind of things can we do to help make that happen?
In fact, when I look at the numbers, 45Q seems to be working. We have seen several new projects coming in line. Maybe an expansion of 45Q, and maybe providing additional incentives especially for the industry sector, cement, iron, steel, and the others, would help to push the CCUS technologies and as such bringing the cost down. Today, the issue is not whether or not technology works. The issue is the cost of the technology. We just need to bring the cost down, as we have seen in the solar. By learning by doing, we brought the cost down, and the CCUS may well have the same pattern if there was a leadership there.
So those would be the keys: enhancement of 45Q, help through Department of Energy and other sources for the front end cost to put this technology on the plants, and then loan guarantees to help those companies actually finance their costs to not only advance the technology, but to put it into place and operate on a commercially viable basis. Those would, you think, would be the keys. If we really want to make this happen instead of just talk about it, then we've got to work with our Department of Energy and our companies to do those things, you would say.
Yes, definitely. Especially now, a focus needs to be in the industry sector as well, iron, steel, cement, and the other petrochemical industry. And we are going to, and we'll be working with the Department of Energy in order to provide them some assistance here.
And you think that could have a huge impact for our country, and that we could really lead the world forward in this effort, correct?
Definitely, and the United States can be the leader of this technology around the world, and as such, not only benefits the US economy, but in terms of reducing the emissions, keeping the energy in the United States, but also exporting this technology around the world.
And a lot of great jobs, right?
Yes, exactly. CCUS is a job creating machine.
Yes.